Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Continuing Agora Models week this week, we're going to be doing pack 6 of the LaFerrari build. Now we are actually still working on this engine area here, and I've just looked at what the first stage of this pack is and it looks difficult. There's going to be quite a lot to do today, and we are still building onto this at the moment. Also, we do get a free gift in this one. Look, check this out. We've got an Agora Models, if you can see that there, cover for the Ferrari. I've never seen this in a build of something that's actually made out of cotton. It feels like a cottony polyester material, but it's going to be brilliant for protecting your vehicle. But that came in pack 6, so I'm quite happy about that. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. Bit nervous about today's what I have to say, because it does look fiddly. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So in stage 41, we're going to be creating the rear mudguards, and there is quite a lot of parts in this. So I'm going to get everything out, open it all out, and we'll work from there. So the first thing we need are these wing shelves here. So let's get them open. And these are identical, just obviously I'm guessing one is left and one is right. I'm just seeing if they're stamped with the direction, but they're not. So they look like that. Okay, these are the first two bits of frame that we need at the moment, looking like that. And all we're going to do first off is push this section into the, it's got a sort of like a hexagonal slot there, into that section there like that. The other side is going to have a locating lug on that side there as well. So it looks just like that there. Now you know how that goes, we can actually put this plate in just like that. And again, just push that back together so the plate is fitting flat in there like that. And we do need to hold this together. So I'm going to use some K screws for that. One just through this side. And one just through this side here. And that is how the first one should look. Put that to one side. Going to do exactly the same with the other one. I always find this is actually easier to create the part first. So this is going to be going on here. Just so you can see how this is going to fit on. And then put the plate in afterwards. So as you see, that's going to go in there. And then I can join that plate together. And once again, the K screws to hold that in. And as you can see, that's two of those created. Now if I bring the engine over here, if you look at this angle here, it comes down here and then sort of springs out. We want to have this side panel which does exactly the same. So it goes down and springs out. I'm going to be putting this in place on the side of the car. Now there is pins for this to go on. So that's that panel on that side. And then just over this side here, covering this area, I'm going to have this. This clips onto the top here like this. Just push that down. And I'm ready to screw these 2 points in here first. So once that's on there, we're going to be securing that in with 2 H screws into this top hole here and the bottom one here. Perfect. And then just do the one down the bottom here. Excellent. And then just at the back section here, we need a size D screw. Just like that. Perfect. Now with that in, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So again, it means we're going to be taking this panel here and clipping this in. And then once again, just push this on top. And then 2 H screws in the top and bottom there and a D screw in this side. And that's the D screw going in. And that's those 2 mudguards in place. Now that is all there is to do in that part stage, but we do have some parts left over. I'm guessing we're going to be using that in the following stage. Then stage 42, we're actually starting work on the rear suspension. So all those parts from the previous stage we had left over, you are going to need to keep them safe because we're not actually using them. I do find it funny that we're actually working on the suspension now when we did that previously in the week as well. Bring the car back over. And I need the small hinge looking just like this. Now there is a raised size on one side. I want the raised size to be pointing away from this area just here. Now I'm going to be securing this in place with an M screw. So let me just put that in there like this. Probably best on the top camera, and I put the M screw down here to hold that in. Now what I want to take the rear tie rod, which looks just like this, and having it exactly this way round, that's just going to go in between these sections here. It's held in from this side with an O screw. Again, you can just push this down so you've got access to that. So I can put this in here and then put that O screw in place. Now the second tie rod, again on the top camera, is going to go into this point at the top. This time that extended section there is pointing towards the rear. So that's going to go in there just like that. Once again, that's held in with an M screw. And again, make that tight. Now this time we need this tie rod, which looks like that. It's pretty symmetrical at both sides. That's going to go in there just like that. This time it's held in from this side here with, once again, an O screw. So that's going in there just like that. Perfect. So both of those are now in place. All I'm going to do then is repeat this on the other side. So I'll get those in and show you what they look like. This is the last one just going in here. Perfect. So they're now done on both sides, as you can see there. And that's all there is to do in this stage. Now we do have some large hinges left over, and I've also got some brackets there. I've also got all of these stuff as well. Looks like a sway bar, a very big tie rod by the look of it. These are the long tie rods, but again, none of this is used in this stage. So in stage 43, we're still working on that rear suspension. Get these out. And we are actually going to make these together. So I'm going to do both of these at the same time. These are all metal, just so you know. Last two builds we've done on this Agora Models week, the whole suspension has been metal. And to make these suspension struts here, we're just going to be taking this section looking like that, and it's the short end that I want. Put the spring over the top. Then we've got the top, which is going in here. Then we need to compress this so that we can get an N flange screw into place. This is going to be fun. If not a little bit dangerous, because I don't want that to ping off, because that's what it's going to want to do. So my advice is to try and get a good balance on here. Hold it down like that, and then get this screw in. Oh, it's under so much tension, you can see my hand shaking. Okay, I've started that off. So it's just a case of tightening it up. Perfect. There we go. That's one of the suspensions in place. Let's do the same on the other one. Just a safety tip, when you do this, you don't want to be looking over the top of it, because if this pings off, it's going to hit you straight in the face. You don't want that. I'm actually standing back from this. I am just looking over the top to ensure I've lined it up okay. And then putting this in. Perfect, like that. Once you've done a few turns, it will hold. And then you can just tighten it up. And there we go. That's both of those completed. Now we need these sections here that we had in the last pack. Again, you heard them drop. Solid metal these are. And this time I need these long tie rods that I just showed you. And the way these are going to go in, the long tie rod's going to go in this way. So that this section here is pointing perpendicular to the base here. That's going to be held in with a C screw just in that hole. Now the C screw is a flange screw, so that's going to keep that in there. Whoops. That was almost an accident waiting to happen there. So that's that one in. So there's one that side. So I'm going to do these two parts at the same time. Obviously we've got these in here. We need to put the suspension struts in place. They actually just go in this section here. And they're held in by these really long T-screws here. So just grab one, put it in the side, and then tighten it up. So that's one that side, and I'll just do the same on the other side. So once that's in, I'm just going to be taking what we created before, just keeping these out the way. These are going to be going into the slots just there, and they're held in from each side with S screws. These screws are going in at an angle, so it is going to be a little bit tricky. But, as you can see, they will go in. So just get these all the way in both sides. And then once these are in, I'll be doing exactly the same on the other side. And when both of them are in place, it should look just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now before I start the next stage, we do have still quite a few things left over that we haven't used yet, which basically look just like this. Put that to one side. In stage 44, we're starting on putting the brake in, and check this brake out. Look at this. It's all completed for us. And the detail on it is amazing. I've never seen anything like that before. That's brilliant. Okay, what I need to do first off is take the drive axle, bring the engine over again, and hopefully you can see just inside the engine area there's a hole. That's where I'm going to be putting this. So on the top camera here, make sure it's the bigger end of this I'm putting in. It's just going to go in like that. I'm then going to be putting the whole brake assembly just over this section here, like this here. Whoops, get that in. That's going to be held in with V screws from each side. Quite long screws, these ones. So one in this side here, and probably best on the top camera, one in this side here. And there we go, that's that brake secured into place. Now this top tie rod is going to connect to this side of the brake, so when it's in, we do want to make sure that the axle engages into that hub. So that's in like that. And then the bottom rod here is connecting into this point just at the side here. So let me just get that one in. Just like that. So you can see we've got the two in there. Now the bottom one is going to have a C screw. The top one is going to be having a U screw. So again, you can fold that down just so you can get access to this C screw one first. In here. And then here's the U screw going in just at the top here. You want to make sure the suspension and the other tie rod is still loose in that section. So it should be enclosed in there, as you can see. But that is looking amazing, isn't it? But that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 45, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other side. So we should be able to whiz through this. So what we're going to do first is put the axle in, just like that. Make sure it's sitting in like that. Then put the caliper in, moving all of this out of the way. That's going to go in there. Once again, that's held in with the long V screws. And again, we want to put these tie rods into place. Do the side one first, like that, and then the top one in there just like that, and ensure that the axle is engaged in both, which it is. Best on the top camera. Once again, it's a flange C screw just onto this bottom tie rod, and then one of the longer U ones on the top here, and that actually goes in from this side, so I need to bring it in like this. Excellent. So both of those brake sections are now in place. Now I'm going to be doing these couplings. Now we had these in stage 41, and what we want to do is take these two sections looking like this, and I'm just going to put this in here just like that here. Now if you look on the side camera, these are actually just going to go into points here and here, and this section at the top is just going to fit into the groove that we've got there. Now they're held in place with two A screws. So one in this side. I'll use my bigger screwdriver, I think. Excellent. And one in the other side. So as you can see, that's nice and secure in there. I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing on the other side. This one's slightly different though, because we do have this section just at the front. It's still going to go into the side just here though. Just get that in. Like that. And it's still going to have this coupler on top of it as well. And once again, that's held in with A screws. So there you go. They're both in place looking like that. All we've got then is this little square container looking like this. And that's just going to go onto the pins just there and there like that. That's got rid of a lot of the spare parts that we had, but that's all there is to do in that stage. So on an ongoing commentary of what we've got left, we've still got the sway bar, and we've got this section here, and we have got a couple of brackets. That's all the parts we've got left at the moment from this stage. In stage 46, we're actually going to start the radiator. And the first thing I want to do is take this frame and this grill, line up the lugs with the holes there so that can fit flush in there, just like that. Gently put that to one side and bring over this box section here. And I do have a vent to put in to this point just there like that. Just pushes in. Onto the grill section now, we can actually just pin this into place. 4 holes there going into those 4 lugs just there. When that's lined up, should be able to fit flush in here. Just like that. Excellent. And we do have some parts left over, but that is all there is to do in that stage. The penultimate stage here, loads to do in this one, isn't there? Stage 47, we're working on the ventilation system. So I'll get all of these parts out. And the first thing we need is this surround frame looking like that. And we do have the fan, which is going to go over the top of it. It actually goes this way round, and it's going to be pushed into the lugs just here. Like that. Now make sure these go all the way on the pins, because those pins are going to hold these pieces of the frame in. These are going to go on top here. So just line them up, one this side and one this side, and then push them into place. As you can see, and that holds itself no problems at all. And on the 2 pins we've got left at the bottom, we're going to just put this one in, push these on the pins here. So that holds that in place as well. So now that is looking just like that there. That's ingenious. Okay. We're going to add some pipes to this. So I've got a small pipe here, which is going to go on this lug. They're D-shaped holes, so they can only go in one way. They are quite tight, so I don't need to glue these either. And then the longer pipe is just going to be going onto this round pipe here. Let's get that in. And it should go off in that direction, just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage, stage 48, we're just going to be doing the right rear radiator. And this is pretty much similar to what we've just done. So let's get these open. And just like last time, we're going to be taking the grill, and that's going to be going inside this frame here, making sure that's fitting nice and flat in there. Again, put that to one side, and this time I need this frame, which is different shape to the one we had last time. I've got this section of the radiator going into the slots just over the top there, so just push those in. And you should hear them click. They'll hold themselves no problems at all. And then the other side of the radiator looking like this is just going to go on here. Again, this is just a pushing. So now the radiator's looking like that. And once again, we want to push the 4 holes here onto these 4 lugs on the grill. You heard it clip in there. So now that's looking like that. That looks really good, doesn't it? On this side here, once again, I've got this section to put in, which goes over the holes there. So we're now sandwiching everything together like this. Excellent. So that's now one whole massive piece. And then the last thing to do is in this section here, I do have a radiator hose to put in. It just clips into this point just here like this. It goes off in that direction, and that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So we have created 2 of these radiators here. And we do have some parts left over, which look like this. We've got 2, looks like control panels here. And I do have this section here. And in this pack, I still have this section, 2 brackets, another one of these sections, and the sway bar. So they're all the parts that I've got left over. That's all there is to do in that stage. That is all there is to do in that pack. And I do have to keep showing you on camera what this is looking like. Look how big that is. So involved. But those brake discs look really good as well. But that took me filming time, because I know you'd like to know, these longer ones. That one's taken me 1 hour 40 minutes. So that weren't too bad, but I had made a mistake, had to do some editing as well. So I don't know how long this video is going to run. Love this build. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.